Hello and welcome to our 9 p.m. edition. Here are the top stories for this edition. The Djiboutian Armed Forces celebrate their 42nd anniversary. For the international scene, Cristiano Ronaldo had reached and Portugal to the final. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, Supreme Head of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, expressed his best wish and his warm congratulations to the Djiboutian Armed Forces celebrating today the 42nd anniversaries of their creation. In tribute to our armed forces, President Guelleh, in the name of the people, the government, and on his own behalf, express his thanks and gratitude to our defense forces for their tireless sacrifices and mobilization on the daily basis to promote the integrity of goods and people through the national territory. My thoughts are primarily with our valiant soldiers fallen on the fire of honor, said the President of the Republic. They represent the worthy sons of the Republic. The state will never fail to provide assistance to their families. He said, my admirations and respect then go to our soldiers deployed at our borders. They commit their lives to preserve our, he said. Not can I fail to pay tribute to our forces project on foreign theaters of war. They are deserving and brave. They are breeds of a new kind because of ability to peace in more than ever subject today to our ability to prevent dangers upstream outside our border, he said. And the Supreme Chief of the Djiboutian Armed Forces to reiterate his warm congratulations and the assurance of his full and entire support to all our compatriots in uniform, officer, non-commissioned officer, soldiers, ranks and men, he said. It was the 42nd anniversary of the Djibouti Army, a colorful ceremony or national flag fluttered on the front of Camp Sheikh Osman at his traditional. This ceremony was held at the first light of dawn. The troops from the defense and security forces proceeded to regroup a total of 1,700 men and women marches on the 42th anniversary. This 42th anniversary placed under the aegis of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. The event began with a review of the troop. On his arrival, the Prime Minister was welcomed by the Minister of Defense, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed, and the CMGA, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. The Prime Minister saluted the flag and subsequently conducted a troop review. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed followed this 42th anniversary with the presence of the member of the government, the deputy, the head of the institutions of the Republic, members and of the diplomatic corps, as well as several high-ranking foreign forces stationed in Djibouti. This emotions-filled event has resounded with the patriotic resonance. So remember to each citizen to serve the sense of duty, honor, sacrifice to any justice in all these circumstances of the soldier. These soldiers who is the pride of his country is contributing so to his greatness.
Pour un effectif total de 1707 hommes et femmes, pour vous rendre les honneurs à vos ordres, Monsieur le Premier ministre.
In his address by Commander Mohammed Qayad Naji, the General Chief of the Staff, who spoke on behalf of the General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, held an address to pay tribute to all men who make up the Armed Forces Djibouti. The commander's officers stress that the army is resolutely committed to defending the rights and freedoms of the people in this part of the world, known for its chronic instability, where peace and security are constantly threatened. On this celebration of Eid al-Fitr, we pray to the Almighty to accept our young and good deeds. May God preserve our dear one countries and bring peace and stability to the world. On behalf of the armies, he paid tribute to the memory of our comrade fallen on the file of honor, those who served the fatherland and sacrificed ultimate. We express here all our compassion and solidarity to their families. The assessment of the actions of our armed forces over the past years deserves to be commended and attests to your commitment to work to achieve the objectives set for us. He also paid tribute to our men deployed along our borders to the work, for the work accomplished and dedications with which they defend our country. He salutes the courage of all those who are in theaters of the operation in Somalia, deployed away from their families to raise the profile of the color of the Republic of Djibouti. He then said that the Djibouti nation is proud of the actions you are taking with professionalism to sector for Iran and the Amazon military staff, he said. After the speech, the Prime Minister, the President of the National Assembly, the member of the government and senior officers of the various armies stationed in Djibouti gathered at the tomb of the father of the nation, Al-Hajj Hassan Guled Abtidon, imploring the Most High to have this regret in his holy mercy. After the Fatiha began the parade with the national music of the Republic in a real collective performance, followed by grouping the flag of all bodies with a perfect synchronization of gesture and a uniform of appearance and voices. Two female units of the army followed after, also playing their score. The Republican Guard has meanwhile produced a presentation well appreciated by the public to the rhythm of the main music of the armed forces, followed by a unit of the National Police March in a perfect symbiosis. The public was able to appreciate their cadence with a choreography and a controlled art of rhythm. It was continuing the parade. It was the return of the art school unit known as AMIA and a unit of the Djibouti Navy, both of which translated by the functions of corporal rhetoric of honor. The air forces and a unit of the artillery regiment also marched a valiant and powerful parade of union. And finally, 2 units of the headquarters, 2 units of the armored regiment, 1 battalion Hill 7, and 1 other fast action forces unknown under the FAR also marched under the watchful eye of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, and expressions of the renewed satisfaction from CMGA Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. Once the parade was over, the Prime Minister, accompanied by the CMGA, immediately headed by the stele of the Martyrs Monument for the laying of wreath with a solemn act that aims to maintain the collective memory and to give a deserved tribute to the challenges which died for the fatherland.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم اغفر لشهدائنا وشهداء المسلمين، اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم وأكرم نزلهم ووسع مدخلهم واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس. اللهم وأبدل دارا خيرا من دارهم وأهلا خيرا من أهلهم وزوجا خيرا من زوجهم وأدخلهم الجنة وأعذهم من عذاب القبر وأدخلهم الجنة دار السلام. الفاتحة لهم.
Finally, this day is ended with a refresh offered by the military high command. This moment of relaxation is had vibrate to the rhythm of the sound and melodies interpreted by the group of artists and the armed forces known as Harbi.
عندي والناي نصوم عندي والناي مصوم كانا أكبر أبا مروكي تاناي قبل وين ميت
The Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Dirie, received Thursday in his cabinet the Ambassador of Japan to discuss the various projects implemented in the framework of the bilateral cooperation between our two countries. It should be noted that this interview took place in the presence of the senior advisor, Mr. Abdulkader Mohamed Karad, and the Director of Health Promotion, Mr. Abdullahi Aye Samod. The discussion is focused on the implementation of the flagship project for the supply of surgical equipment and instruments for operating treatment, as well as hospital equipment and furniture donated by Japan free of charge. Health Minister Mohamed Warsama Dirie took the opportunity to thank the Japanese diplomat for this important donation, which illustrate quite well the excellent relation between our two countries. During their discussions, the two sides discussed at length the new lines of actions that can broaden the basis of this already successful bilateral cooperation between the Health Department and Japan. Concerning the international scene, commemorations are scheduled through the day this Thursday in Normandy. Nearly 12,000 people are expected at the Colville-sur-Mer American Cemetery. France commemorate this Thursday the Allied landings on 6 June in 1944 in the presence of Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron in a delicate diplomatic context, and some 500 veteran offense centenarian. The midday handshake between Emmanuel Macron and Donald Trump will thus be carefully criticized amid a deep question by the U.S. president of this multilateralism. The Elysee, however, says that the level of confidence at the highest level with Washington. The bilateral meetings is scheduled from 1 p.m. at the prefectures of the camp for an interview and a lunch. And the National League for Portugal's and Cristiano Ronaldo review becomes a hero with 3 goals, and that's 2 in 2 minutes. Cristiano Ronaldo can hit to the finals his country, Portugal. This is it for this edition. Thank you for being with us.